Out there today. This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Thursday, February 21st. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This way you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. And if you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing, bro?
Yo, what up, man? How you doing? Been a long break, man.
Been a long break, finally back, ready to get back into some NBA. One thing I quickly want to note, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. All break, I was messing with NHL and I was trying to figure out how to play a little bit of DFS NHL, and I didn't have very much luck. I'm not gonna lie until last night. The last night I played NHL before NBA came back. Ended up, I got second place, third place, fourth place, and fifth place in the tournament. I just couldn't get the first place, but it still turned $100 into $700. So can't go wrong. Had a little fun playing NHL. Ready to get back in the NBA. So yeah, man, I'm ready to jump into this 6 games. If you're ready to go, man.
Yeah, let's go.
Cool. Real quick, before we do jump into these games, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second. Click the like button for me down below. Helps me out. Really, really appreciate that from you guys. Yeah, man. So let's just jump into it. So first game we're going to get started with the Miami Heat going into Philadelphia to face the 76ers. This game has a 219.5 over-under, which is by far the lowest on the slate. And Philadelphia is favored by 5.5. And some news we already know is that Joel Embiid is already ruled out for about a week right now.
Yeah, man. Enter the will Boban Marjanovic be relevant tonight, right? That's the question. So, I think that you have to take a look, obviously, at Hassan Whiteside. We know that up through the All-Star break, until All-Star break, his minutes have been very inconsistent. I think it's worth a look at 7.3 in tournaments. Interesting play for me is Olynyk, right? We have a projected to start the power forward here. I actually like Bam probably the best at 4.3 just because I trust Bam more than I trust anybody else. He's the one guy I could really at least trust. He's going to probably get 20 minutes in this contest. So I do like Bam a whole lot. I like him in tournaments at that power forward spot. Outside of that, I mean, look, Justice Winslow and Josh Richardson, very fair price. Dion Waiters, he's 5,000. If he's going to play 30 minutes, I think he's, for 5.3, Dion Waiters is worth a look. The problem I have here is that defensively, you take Joel Embiid out of it, but you still have very good defenders here. You have a defense that's going to be anchored by Jimmy Butler. Tobias Harris is still a good defender, very lengthy, power forward / small forward guy. And I just think athletically, it's a tough matchup for Miami here. So, to me, if you're going to look for exposure on the Miami side, you got to kind of look at where the mismatches might be. And I look at the, game flow theory here. And with Bam coming off the bench, it's a guy I probably like the best and probably the only guy that I'm going to look to get exposure to on this side of things for Miami. I can give you the long list of guys and we could go through that if you want to, but it's been well documented by us. Logjam of players, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Josh Richardson, Justice Winslow. If I'm going to play anybody outside of Bam, it probably would be Justice Winslow, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, for sure. And they're starting to get healthier too. Dragic is coming back, et cetera. So, yeah, you're right. Logjam. On the 76ers side of things, I mean, we know what Joel Embiid does on the floor. So without him on the floor, there's about 25 points a game to almost 30 points a game. There's about 15 rebounds. There's 2 blocks. There's a lot open with Joel Embiid off the floor. So I mean, I think definitely. I mean, every starter gets a bump. Tobias Harris, 7,100, fair price. Ben Simmons, 8,700. That's a very good price for Ben Simmons with no Joel Embiid. JJ Redick, 5,500. Jimmy Butler, 8,200. I think all 4 of these starters outside Joel Embiid are very good prices, and you could definitely play all of them. I think that they're all definitely in play. Obviously, we don't want to play them all in the same lineup, but all of them, you pick and choose, kind of figure out where you need. kind of your roster construction, where the value is, etc. See what we're going to pay up. But I definitely think you could pay up for a Ben Simmons or a Jimmy Butler, even Tobias Harrison. I feel pretty comfortable with it. JJ Redick, 5,500. I think he's a very good cash game play. You could just put him in your lineup, move on. He's already been playing very, very well as it is. And then you take off those extra points for Joel Embiid. Love Redick in this spot. So I like all four of those starters. And then two guys off the bench I'm going to like. Boban. We got to see if they say he's going to start today. If Boban's going to start at 3,800, you just put him in and move on. He'll be your job spot play. We know what Boban does when he gets minutes. Anytime he plays 20 minutes, he's going to crush 3,800 price tag. He's going to get you 25, 30 fantasy points. That's just what Boban does. The other guy that I really like with Joel Embiid out, I can definitely see them playing a little bit of small ball. And TJ McConnell will benefit as well, 3,900. Their guy, they like to get him in the game. And whenever one of the guys, Jimmy Butler or Embiid or even Simmons hasn't been out, but a couple of other guys have been out earlier in the season. They play a lot of small ball with McConnell. They try to get him in at a 3,900 price tag. You can even almost use him as a drop spot on Fanduel as well. So I like their four starters, and then I really like Boban and I like McConnell. And that's really where I'm at with the 76ers.
I think that this is the 76ers side of things is really a volatile situation because it's good. It's one of two things to me. Are they going to play the new guys, your Boban, your Mike Scott, your James Ennis, Jonathan Simmons? Are they going to play those guys and get them run without Embiid in, or are they going to go to what they've done in the past? And that's the unknown that makes the situation volatile. If we knew they're going to go with what they've done in the past, and absolutely I agree with you. TJ McConnell at 3.9, great in tournaments. And the guy that I would really think you would see a lot of is a guy that they played really heavily until they acquired Tobias Harris, and that's Jonah Bolden at 3.5. I think he would make a premier drop spot play, very low ownership in tournaments with a lot of upside at 3.5. The problem is we have no idea which way that they're going to go. Are they going to, I don't think Boban will start though, bro. I think that they'll start Amir Johnson like they've always done, and they'll bring Boban off the bench if, in fact, he's going to get run.
Yeah, no, like I said, they said Embiid's out at least a week. So, today is a little bit more of a let's see how the rotation goes, and then we kind of know moving forward. But yeah, moving on. Next game we're going to go with is going to be battle of the two taken teams. You got Phoenix Suns going into Cleveland to face the Cavaliers. This game has a 221.5 over under. Phoenix is favored by 1 in this one.
Yeah, you talk about tanking, right? Tanking for Zion, the dude. Not a good look for Nike last night, huh?
I was blew out of his shoe. That's crazy.
I'm sure Nike don't want to see anybody blown out of shoes, man. Yeah, so look, I think DeAndre Ayton is a really solid play here against Cleveland. We know Tristan Thompson, and he's practiced, etc. Is very doubtful to get any run today. And he's a game time decision, but it's already been said he's very doubtful to get any run. Kevin Love will remain on a minutes limit. And that kind of puts DeAndre Ayton for the bulk of this game going up against Larry Nance Jr. And we know Larry Nance Jr. is not a typical center. So I think Ayton's in a really solid spot. I think there's some narrative here too with Josh Jackson and Marquise Chris, former teammates. They'll match up a little bit. Both guys, very similar games. Both guys, very lengthy guys. One guy obviously has a tendency to get in foul trouble while the other guys flourish, and that's Josh Jackson. Tyler Johnson, I always say this, when guys go back to a conference they've been in their entire career, there's familiarity there. I think at 4.4, he makes for a good tournament play. Problem is minutes and usage. He's not going to get the same minutes and usage he got coming off the bench in Miami because of Devin Booker and him being inserted into a starting role there. So for me, it's really two guys. You got to look at DeAndre Ayton, you got to look at Devin Booker, and I think you kind of just move on from there. Tournament play for me would be Rashawn Holmes at 3.7. I think it's a good spot to use Rashawn Holmes here in tournaments. Don't go overboard with it, but I do think it's a good spot for him in tournaments as well. Oubre's price at 6.9. I just don't like it. I know TJ Warren's been ruled out, but I just don't like $7,000 for Oubre. I don't think he's a $7,000 player. Every time his price has gotten up in that range, he struggles to get value with it. There's not enough usage to go around for Oubre in this spot, in my opinion. Tournament play, fine. If you want to get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9% exposure to him, I don't have a problem with that, but I wouldn't go beyond that.
Yeah, on the calf side of things, they're starting to get a little bit more healthier now. There's a couple guys we could definitely look at. Obviously, I like Zizic. If he's going to be in that starting lineup, 4,000, he's almost as a job spot play. Price came back down. This guy, when he got minutes earlier in the year, I mean, he had a really, really good turnout. The guy has some upside. So I think Zizic is a guy that you got to start with. It's all about minutes. If he's going to play 25 minutes at a 4,000 price tag, I absolutely like him here. I just don't know if he's going to get those kind of minutes. The game right before the All-Star break, though, it was very encouraging. He played 30 minutes, got you 6.6 rebounds, assists. It wasn't nothing special, I understand. But what I'm looking at is I'm looking at the minutes, and he got 30 minutes, and that's what I want to see. If he's going to play at least 25 minutes, 4,000, I really, really like him in this spot, up-tempo game. Kevin Love, I mean, I know the price tag's 5.7. I know Kevin Love puts up fancy points as bunches, but I mean, the guy's only playing 15 minutes, and it's tough. It's really, really tough to kind of play Kevin Love right now until we hear that his minutes do come up a little bit. Colin Sexton's a guy that I really do like, though. 5,500. The thing about him that I'm kind of about is that, he really has to score the ball to kind of get you, fancy points for the most part. Last game against Brooklyn, the guy played a ton of minutes, so 45 minutes. And if you look at his game log, and for the past 5 games going into the All-Star break, he played at least 37 minutes. They have to play this guy a ton. They're going to continue to play him. He scored at least 20 real points in 4 of those 5 games as well. So 5,500, I think, is a very good price for Colin Sexton. I honestly think he's probably the best play on the Cavaliers. Just the minutes are locked in. The production, he's for the most part shooting the ball well. I like Sexton a lot. I like Zizic. On the bench, I mean, you can always look at a guy like Jordan Clarkson, 6,500. I think he's in play. The price tag is kind of borderline. Do I really want to pay for this for a guy coming off the bench? But I definitely think you could in GPPs. Also in GPPs, you could throw in a Larry Nance. The problem with him is 7,500, crazy high price tag. I don't know if I want to pay that for a guy who's in a bench role right now. And then you could throw in a Marquise Chris. You could throw in a Brandon Knight. Both of them guys, after their trades, started getting a bunch of run going into the All-Star break. So I think that those 4 guys are in play off the bench. And then you could look at a Zizic and a Sexton as well.
Marquise Chris, to me, man, it's 2 guys. You play Sexton, you play Marquise Chris. Marquise Chris, Kevin Love's going to remain on a minutes limit, and Marquise Chris is going to continue to play in that spot. It is what it is. Until they get Tristan Thompson back and they have a true center, they're going to run Larry Nance at the center position. They're going to run Kevin Love out there for a little bit, the power forward with Zizic, and then they're going to bring in Larry Nance to play center for Zizic and power forward next to him, and that frees up Marquise Chris. The guy can knock down threes. He can get to the basket. He's too cheap for me. He's too cheap for this spot. He's played 20-plus minutes in his last 4 games. I'm going to take that all day long, especially against this Suns team who really struggles defensively, struggles to rebound the basketball, etc. So I think Marquise Chris is probably the premier play, followed by Sexton.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, next game we're going to go with is going to be the Portland Trailblazers going into Brooklyn to face the Nets. This game has a 231.5 over-under, and Portland's favored by 2.5 in this one.
We'll get to some other spots here, but Enes Kanter, if he's going to play today and he's going to come off the bench, I have to think that they're going to play him 20 minutes at least. This guy has had a great year when he's played, and at 4.8, I like him and Nurkic both against the Brooklyn Nets. We've taken centers in this spot all year long. I think, Nurkic is a very contrarian play today because of the fact there's going to be multiple spots at the center position to pay down for. Joel Embiid being out. We just talked about Zizic at his price tag. Center, to me, on this slate looks like a place to pay down at tonight. And, you look at Nurkic at 8.1. The guy's been all the way up to 9.5, 9.6. We know he's having one of his better years in his career this season. We've always taken centers. We've kind of streamlined this play against the Nets. I like Nurkic and his skill set against this Brooklyn team. We know Jared Allen is not a great defender. He just is a highlight reel for blocking shots. He can block Nurkic 2 or 3 times tonight. That's not going to stop Nurkic from getting assists. He's far more athletic and has a way better skill set than Jared Allen does. He'll score the basketball, and we know he's going to get rebounds. So I think Nurkic is a phenomenal tournament play, a very contrarian play, in my opinion, tonight, based on the fact that center's a spot to play down. Outside of that, I don't really like any other plays here. If you want to take C.J. McCollum at 6.4 in tournaments, I don't have a problem with that. We know what C.J. McCollum brings to the table, 30 minutes, and he has to score the basketball. He's going to score 25 points and get you 4 or 5 rebounds and a couple assists. He will make value tonight. The problem is that you are dependent on him scoring, which for me makes him a tournament play only. the opportunity for him to do that is definitely there in this game against Brooklyn. Should be a ton of points scored. But outside of Nurkic, Cantor, if he plays, Cantor will definitely put a hamper on Zach Collins and Miles Leonard and these other guys who've been getting run. So Cantor, if he's going to play, Nurkic, and if you want to take a chance, I'm going to call him fine.
Yeah, on the net side of things, they're one of those teams that they kind of have a logjam. They're starting to get healthy. They play a bunch of bodies. They play, almost 12 guys pretty much. Everybody's really coming back. There's 3 guys that I like for the Nets. I'm just really going to keep it there. I like D'Angelo Russell. He's the best player on the team. The guy was an all-star, playing very, very well this season. The price tag is crazy high, but this is a guy who, he'll take 30 shots in a game if he has to. The usage is crazy high, so I like D'Angelo Russell. The other 2 guys that I really like, Joe Harris, Karis LeVert, they really like these 2 guys. I feel like the guys that really are going to get their minutes more than anybody else on the Nets are going to be Joe Harris, Russell, and LeVert. I think that's kind of their core that they're going to start using going forward, obviously with Jared Allen. But me, I'm not a Jared Allen fan. On the net side of things, I'm just really going to stick with Harris, Russell, LeVert. You could look at a Halls Jefferson or a Carroll, but now you got, Halls Jefferson, Carroll, Napier, Dudley gets coverage, Crab is back. Like I said, there's a lot of bodies that they got to feed coming off the bench. So on the Nets, strictly Harris, Russell, LeVert, I'm moving on.
I love LeVert, man. Like, you look at Russell at 9.2 and you look at LeVert, who played 30 minutes in his last game before the All-Star break, at 5.8. I cannot see anybody justifying D'Angelo Russell at 9.2. I think LeVert's a better basketball player as a whole. D'Angelo Russell is a volume guy. He's like you said, he's going to take a lot of shots if he has to, but I think the efficiency guy is definitely LeVert, and he's too cheap.
Well, yeah, LeVert, that dude gets crazy steals and shit like that. So
he's too cheap.
Yep. Moving on. Next game we're gonna go with, it is gonna be the Boston Celtics going into Milwaukee to face the Bucks. This game has a 227.5 over under, and Milwaukee's favored by 5.5 in this one.
I absolutely love Marcus Smart in this spot, and I think it's because of his recent comments that the league's very soft and nobody wants to touch anybody. I think that I just like this guy. He's a gritty basketball player. He's 5,000. I have no problem playing 5,000 for him. For me, Marcus Smart is a big-time player type of guy, right? He's a guy that you want on your team when you've got to go win a game. He's going to do all the dirty things, and he's going to. That's a guy who's going to show up when the spotlight's on. I love him in this spot at 5,000. The minutes are there. He's been inserted in the starting lineup. I think that Marcus Smart is a really good play here. This is the type of basketball game that we're in the second half now, right? We're at post All-Star break. It's time to make a playoff push. This is the team that was supposed to be the odds-on favorite to be the top seed in the East, and they're playing the Bucks here, who the Bucks under the radar, right? They're not getting their credit, but this is probably the best team in the East right now. I love Smart in this spot a ton. That's really it for me, to be honest with you. I'm on Marcus Smart, and I'm on Marcus Smart only. I don't have a problem with Al Horford. I think him and Nurkic are pretty much the same guy. From a price standpoint, both contrarian plays, both are very similar with their game. Nurkic is just a little bit, more of a bruiser inside, but I think it's the same play. Build one lineup with Nurkic, build the exact same one and put Horford in there. You'll be very contrarian, in my opinion, tonight. Outside of that, I'm good.
Yeah, on the Bucks side of things, I think there's some really good plays. All their secondary guys are very good price. Drew Bledsoe, his price tag came down to 6.7. I'm sorry. Eric Bledsoe, 6.7. Price came down. I know he had a bad game against Indiana going into the All-Star break, but guess what? It tends to happen. People kind of see the All-Star break coming. They kind of check out that last game. Look it up if you don't believe me. I think Eric Bledsoe is a good play. One thing that's a little bit concerning for me is the minutes have been down a little bit. Yes, they have. This is a guy who usually play 33, 35 minutes. And if you look the last few games going into All-Star break, he was playing more like 27 and 29. So that's a little bit concerning, but we know that, Eric Bledsoe is a guy who has 50 fantasy point upside in a big-time game. Like you said, the Celtics were favored to take the East. Now the Bucks are on top of the East. This is a game the Bucks want to win, and it's a statement game for them. So I think Eric Bledsoe will get his minutes if the game is close. I like Bledsoe a lot. I like Middleton 6.4. I like Brogdon 5.8. those are the three secondary guys that they all play 30-plus minutes in close games. They all get theirs, and they're all very fair price. So I like all three of those guys. And then you could throw in Antetokounmpo, 12.4. The price tag is up there. We got to figure out if he's a guy that we really want to pay for on this slate. The guy has triple-double upside anytime he steps on the floor. We've seen what he did in the All-Star game. The guy's just playing on a different level right now. I like Antetokounmpo. So I like all four starters. Coming off the bench, I mean, you can continue to look at a guy, a DJ Wilson. He's the first guy off the bench. He's getting some minutes. But the guy that I'm really interested in is Mirotic. Mirotic, he's gonna start playing for the team. He had a break after the All-Star game. So they said it. He planned on playing today. I don't know if we can necessarily play him today just because we got to see how they're really going to use him in the rotation. But if we feel like he's going to play 20 to 25 minutes off the bench, he may even take some of the guy DJ Wilson's minutes. If he's going to play, so I would say 20, 25 minutes off the bench at a $5,500 price tag. You can possibly throw him in a couple of GPPs, low owned. I want to see how the rotation is going to go, but I do think later down the line that Mirotic is going to be a big part of this team. So I like him as well. So that's really where I'm at. It's the four starters outside of Lopez. You can look at DJ Wilson, you can look at Mirotic, and that's really it for me. And one thing I want to note too, as much as I don't want to say this, is making me cringe a little bit. Brook Lopez is actually in play. We've been doing it all year. Sinners going against Boston have been dominating. And the most encouraging thing for Brook Lopez is he's playing about 28 to 30 minutes a game. And the guy has, I'm not going to say he has crazy upside, but he has 35, 40 fantasy point upside if he gets hot, shoots the ball well. So I think he's in play also. That's really where I'm at with Milwaukee.
Not no mo. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're going to play Mirotic at center. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're going to bring this dude off the bench. They're going to play small ball. They're going to play Mirotic at power forward. They're going to play him at small forward. They're going to play him at center. This dude's going to play him now, play him in tournaments. He's not a cash game play tonight. Like you said, it's a wait and see approach. But play him now while he's cheap, because this dude's price is going to go to $7,500 really fast because of what they're going to do with him. We know he's a dynamic player. We've seen it in Chicago. He didn't get to play the same role in New Orleans. He's more of a knockdown shooter for them. But this guy we know the upside Mirotic brings. They're going to use this guy all over the place. This was we said it when the trade happened. This was an absolute steal, and he's going to enhance this team. He's going to take minutes away from Brook Lopez. And I'm telling you right now, he's going to play center. I can already tell you, he's going to play center. He'll play power forward. He'll play small forward. This guy's going to get a lot of run for them off the bench.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, next game we're going to go with is going to be the Houston Rockets going into LA to face the Lakers. This game has a 233.5 over under. Houston's favored by 3. And one thing I quickly want to mention is LeBron. He activated playoff LeBron mode, man. That's what they're talking about right now.
Like this dude's some kind of fucking robot or something, man. What's he got, like a microchip in his brain? He like pulls his ear and all of a sudden he's in playoff mode? Come on, man.
Puts his Superman cape on and
he taking that Sprite commercial a step too far. Look,
right,
here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to point out, right? Everybody is playing. And what I mean by that is the first game of the season when these dudes got into it, Rondo, Chris Paul, yada, yada, yada. When they played the next time, all these dudes weren't available. I think Rondo had the broken hand. Chris Paul had the hamstring. All these guys were on the floor at the same time. Clint Capella's supposed to play tonight. Look, everybody may have forgotten about the little tussle and the spitting incident and all the trash talking that went back and forth and all the talk about Chris Paul's a terrible dude, yada, yada, yada. This game is going – I think that's part of the reason why Vegas has this close is I don't think any defense will be played in this. I think guys are going to go at each other. I think it could be very contested and very heated. I like all players in this game, and I think the industry probably likes all players in this game as well. A guy that's very interesting to me with Clint Capella coming back, we've talked about it, and now it's actually going to happen. We've talked about what Kenneth Faried is going to actually do for this team when he's able to play power forward and really replace P.J. Tucker. P.J. Tucker's not a scorer. We know that. Clint Capella and James Harden, they play the pick and roll phenomenally. I really think that Kenneth Faried is a guy, maybe not tonight and maybe not at this price tag, but a buy low opportunity is going to come on this guy where I think his price could get maybe down in the 6,000 range. I'm interested to see him, of all people on the slate, what happens to his minutes tonight and where he fits in the rotation. I will have some exposure to Faried in tournaments. But outside of that, I think this rotation is going to shrink. With them getting healthy, with Clint Capella coming back, I think you're going to see that, obviously they're starting five. I think you'll see Kenneth Faried still get run. I think Gerald Green will still get a little bit of run. And then, obviously Austin Rivers, Daniel House situation. But I think this rotation is going to shrink. I think minutes are going to go up. They want to get the number one seed. They're going to try their asses off to get it. They are. This is, for all intents and purposes, is a playoff game tonight, and I think there'll be a ton of points scored in this. Throw the over-under out the window. Throw the spread out the window. I think these two teams are going to go at each other tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on the Lakers side of things, you can start all five starters are in play. Even Reggie Bullock, 4,700. The guy got traded to us, and he jumped straight into a starter's role, playing at 30, 35 minutes. He's more of a GPP play today. The guys I'm really, really, really liking. I love Ingram. I love Kuzma. Their prices are just too cheap. 6.2, 6.6. You really need, 31, 32 fantasy points, and both of these guys have 40, 45 fantasy point upside in a very, very up-tempo, back-and-forth game. There's going to be a lot of three-shot. There's going to be a lot of rebounds. I really like Kuzma and Ingram. I think both of those guys are cash game plays. Then you can go to LeBron, 11.7. LeBron in playoff mode now. The guy's going to probably have a triple-double tonight. Definitely think that he's in play. He's a very good spot. The guy I quickly wanted to mention as well, JaVale McGee. Tyson Chandler is game time decision right now with a stiff neck. If Tyson Chandler was ruled out, this gives even more of a bump to JaVale McGee. 6.1. It's not a give me price tag no more, but this guy fills up the stat sheet quickly. And if he's going to give us 25 minutes, definitely think he is in play in this up-tempo game. Outside of that, you can look at Rondo, 6.2. Rondo's still going to get his minutes off the bench, more like the sixth man. So you could consider Rondo as well. But I'm not really going to go any deeper than that with the Lance Caldwell Pope, especially with Josh Hart coming back. All three of those guys kind of take a couple minutes away from each other. So for me, it's really just the starters, and you could throw in a little bit of Rondo as well.
The interesting thing here is that nobody's talking about the fact that LeBron James is now their point guard. Nobody's that's not come up. And I think the most interesting thing about this is we're going to find out. And what I mean by that is LeBron saying I'm in playoff mode and blah, 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 blah. I think that the trade deadline's passed. These guys' feelings of, now not been hurt. They know they're Lakers, et cetera, et cetera. They've had the All-Star break. Everything's blown over. And I think you're going to see in the first half of this game, and for sure the first quarter, Kuzma and Ingram have a really big opportunity to knock down shots, because I think LeBron's going to try to force them right now. And I think, when he says, we've worked on it, we worked our tails off, I think that that's what it's time for, is LeBron to find out, can these guys play? Are these guys going to be here? And now's the opportunity for him to find out. I think you'll see him take the game over down the stretch, but I think early on you're going to see, can Kuzma and Ingram, can they play with me? I think we're going to find that out, and it's going to start tonight.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to the final game of the night, it's going to be the Sacramento Kings going into Golden State to face the Warriors. This game has a 239.5 over-under. Golden State's favored by 12.5 in this one. And then quickly, I just wanted to mention a piece of news that came out last night was that Boogie Cousins is going to get a little bit of a bump in minutes as well. So my guess would be he's going to be up to about 30 minutes a game now. I
would love Boogie Cousins so much more tonight with that news if the game was in Sacramento. I would love it so much more, because I think that, look, the only guy that's really here that was with Boogie is Willie Cauley-Stein, right? Buddy Hield came over in the trade for Cousins. So, look, I really think that if it was in Sacramento, there would be more of a narrative to play up here, but it's not in Sacramento. It's in Oakland, and I just think that there's not really anybody over there he's going to want to go at, besides Willie Cauley-Stein. And they could be limited in the amount of time they spend on the floor with each other in the first place. Willie Cauley-Stein's minutes have dipped a little bit. They're running Marvin Bagley and Harry Giles a little bit more, so they've eaten into some of his run. You have to love Marvin Bagley Jr. in this spot. We already saw him go off earlier in the year against Golden State. The price has come down a little bit. He was in the mid-6s. Now he's down in the high 5s. I love Marvin Bagley Jr. here. I think his skill set matches up extremely well against Golden State. He's going to come off the bench. He may see some time against Boogie at the center spot, but he's also going to play against Kevon Looney and Jonas Jerebko and those bench guys. So I think Marvin Bagley's in a really good spot to dominate. De'Aaron Fox is interesting as well. Klay Thompson's a hell of a lot better defender than people give him credit for. So I think that takes Buddy Hield a little bit out of the equation with some of the other spots you can pick at point guard. But this game, Harrison Barnes is the one for me, besides Marvin Bagley, the two guys that I'm looking to get exposure to.
Yeah, man. On the Warriors side of things, I'm not trying to be short, but I mean, all 5 starters are in play. I mean, they're all fair price. Boogie 7.6, Draymond 6.8, Clay 7,000. I love the price on these guys. They're very, very fair price. Even Curry 9.5, I think is a good price tag. The 10.2 on Kevin Durant, I mean, it's not a bad price, and he could definitely get there. But with everybody back, Kevin Durant is the one that scares me a little bit at the 10.2, especially since Boogie's been there. His rebounds have definitely took a dip. He's not in the paint so much no more. A couple less blocks as well. He doesn't have to do as much with everybody back, and that's why the price tag 10.2 scares me. You need 51 for value, but definitely he has the upside to get there. Even if this game is a blowout, we've seen it, in the past. We've seen it past years. These guys can pretty much get fantasy value in 3 quarters. That's how high level that their offense is. So I definitely think that all the stars are in play for the Warriors. On the bench, I mean, you can look at a Looney, who's the backup, a big man. You can look at a guy maybe like Iguodala, the first guy off the bench. But I'm not really going to go too deep into the Warriors bench. It's really just the starters, with Kevin Durant being my least favorite of them all. Everybody else is very fair price. I mean, that's it for me with the Warriors.
I think that this game is very contrarian across the board. I think that a lot of the attention is going to go on Boston, Milwaukee, Houston, and the Lakers, and rightfully so, that the TNT games, it's where the exposure is going to be tonight. I really think this is a contrarian game, and I think that Klay Thompson is probably my favorite play. I think this game could be closer than 12.5. I actually like I think you can take Sacramento in the points, man. I just that's my feeling on it. We already saw this game play out a couple of times, and Sacramento's been very competitive this year against the Warriors.
Yeah, for sure. So, hey, guys, that's what we got. 6 games kind of wrapped up, kind of get you an overview of the slate, kind of get you started for your day. I will be back a little bit later with my NBA core play videos, 5 guys that I think you got to have in your cash games, as well as the hour before lock. We will be back with our NBA live segment, breaking down any injury news, any news in general coming up into lock. So, hey, make sure you have those notifications turned on. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel, so you don't miss any of our videos and you can stay up to date with what we got going. Hey, if you want to play the actual lineups that we're playing every single day, check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. Thanks for checking out this video. If we don't talk to you guys before then, good luck on your guys' contest tonight, all right? Peace out.